Hey everybody, it's me, Ashley Brooke. For those of you guys who don't know me yet, my name is Ashley Brooke and I'm autistic. So I have an autism support group for adults on my Facebook, and I talked to a friend of mine on there. And they have posted, does anybody else experience like that they have better encounters with strangers? Do they make better, like, do they feel really comfortable with strangers rather than people they've known a long time? And I feel like this is my experience with it, okay? So I agree. This happens with a lot of us, I think. Like, we don't really hold relationships that long. And I think it's because of how opinionated we are. See, neurotypicals usually will, like, interpret us as, like, overly opinionated, bossy, rude. And we're just very analytical. Like, that's what makes us different from neurotypicals, is that we use the analytical part of the brain. So we think a lot. That's what that means. We think a lot and we analyze everything a lot. So, and a lot of time we're just kind of like we're just putting all the facts on the table. It's sort of like the way that we talk is kind of like, it's kind of like organizational learning. Like, in our head, we're not saying that we know everything. We're just brainstorming, like, you know, sharing information. And we're like, well, this is all that I know. Blah, 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 blah. And when you meet people for the first time, usually they'll either be super, like, awkward with us, or you'll get the opposite effect. You'll get, like, some neurotypicals being like, wow, you're different, and not in a bad way. I've had some good encounters with neurotypicals because I'm able to hold a conversation with them, but at the same time, they know, like, there's something different about me, so they're kind of like, like, you know, it intrigues them. So, those are, you know, the good neurotypicals. I've had bad encounters with neurotypicals too, but yes, to answer your question, yes, definitely. And this is funny because I don't know if I don't think I'm the only autistic person like this, because I know quite a few autistic adults, and they're super nice and super social, and, like, I'm the kind of person, like, especially, I was more so like this when I was younger, until I started realizing that, like, people thought I was, like, crazy for doing it. But, like, I'm the kind of person that will, like, be at the bus stop, like, waiting for my, you know, like, this is before I had my kids. I would do this. I was an adult already, and I'd go to 7-Eleven before waiting by the bus, and I would go buy, like, chips and a Monster. If there's, like, 2 for $1, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get 2. And if I go to the bus stop, and I don't care who it was there, it could have been a homeless man, it could have been a mom with kids, or, like, whatever, I'll be like, oh, you want some? And I would give them a drink, or if I bought a sandwich, I'd be like, oh, you want some? And I would give them half my sandwich. And sometimes people really appreciate it. You don't know, like, what people are going through, you know, how they're struggling. So some people were like, oh, wow, you're really nice, and super, like, appreciative of me. And then there were some people that were like, no, I don't want your sandwich, get away from me. And I had to, like, I mean, I'm still kind of like that, because I feel like I just went to the Social Security office, like, maybe, like, 3 weeks ago, or, like, I don't know, yeah, 3 weeks ago. And there was a sale on Monsters, and I was waiting in the Social Security line, and the woman that was in line were outside in the heat, and it was buy 2 get 1 free. So I heard them talking about how a lady talking about how she was hot, and then the other couple too, and I was like, oh, I got Monsters, and I started pulling out, like, energy drinks and asking if they wanted snacks, because, like, I had my son with me, so I usually buy, like, a few snacks just in case the line's long. And one person was like, weird. You know, I saw the whole facial expression and everything. And then And then this lady was like, "Oh, sure, I'll take one, thank you." And I think that's just like our nature of just being like, kind of like, we kind of have this like pure-hearted, honest, open book kind of personality, you know, usually. Unless we've had a lot of like bullies and stuff, then sometimes we can be a little more like closed. So there's like different types of autistic people, and I used to be nonverbal till I was 7, stopped talking from like 10 to 11 also, and I went through a lot of trauma. But for some reason, I'm still like, it never took my heart. It never took like all that I went through. It never took away my kindness. And I think that's because I'm autistic, honestly. I talk in another video about how like autism saved me from the hood and like saved me from having like a tainted mentality, you know. So I definitely think that and then when you have people that known you a long time, you know, they've seen you really nice, and they love you, of course, but then they've seen us when we get really obsessive. And I know, and don't say that you don't, because we all do. We get really obsessive and like stuck on like what we think is correct. I know what we all do that, because I've seen it. I've seen it with other autistic adults, and I do it, and I have to admit it, I can't deny I do that a lot, which is why I don't date, because I'm just like, my way or the highway, you know. So and I think maybe that's why, like, and then also like, we tend to grow up with family members and they see us as this certain way, and then as we start like, you know, reaching milestones and start getting, you know, able to like, you know, communicate better, and they still kind of like have that like, where they're like still seeing us like where we were before, when we were having more challenges. And like for example, so like I have this sister, right, and she's like, and she's cool now, she's sober, and she's like, you know, getting it done. So like, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's I you know, I have respect for her changing her life and all that stuff, so it's great. But I talked to her recently, and we talked about my autism and stuff like that, and then her son's autistic, I come to find out. And I try to share some information with her about like how to get her son to potty train. He's 7. And she's like, and I told her, this worked for my son, this, you know, this really works. And she's like, what? I don't know. Maybe he was just ready. Like, she doesn't want to give me the credit for the fact that I know what I'm talking about. And that's just family for you, you know? Hi, beautiful lady. I have a little beautiful woman with me. You guys want to see her? It's my daughter. Hi. Come on. Okay, I'm being summoned by my daughter. The boss has spoken. Are you the boss, Applesauce? Okay, so yeah, definitely you're not alone with that one. But there's little reasons to why that is, and that's why I always say it's good to make friends with other autistic adults, and, you know, build your little community of friends and support that know you outside like your, you know, like your, what is it called, like immediate circle of like family and stuff like that, because they do that to us. Family, whether they love us or not, they always like, oh my god, I was doing it to my son not that long ago. I wasn't doing it like intentionally, but like, I was answering for him. He's nonverbal, right? And I was talking like, oh, Ozzy likes this, and Ozzy likes that. And he looks at me and he goes, shh. I was like, so I think we just do that as family. I think we just like tend to like try to like jump in and control things. It's just part of the way humans are, I guess. So, but since that happened, I was like, I asked him, now we communicate through pictures and drawing and stuff like that, or he started to learn to talk. That's probably why he started to learn to talk more. He like quit answering for me. You're getting it wrong. That's awesome. Whatever works. Alright guys, I'm gonna post this, and I'll come back later and talk about some more stuff. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on TikTok, Autistic Army. I have a few seconds. I thought it was over. I thought it was my closing. Okay, so hi. I'm gonna repeat myself again. So, oh, I gotta stop this. I'm such a dork. Sorry, I had too much coffee.